being a startup into health tech, we continuously used to go through many audits as a part of investment coming up and stuff like that. Other than that, like we also want to be proactively very sensitive towards the processes that we implement here, because we deal with health tech. It's a very sensitive area, right? 27001 is more to do with information security. There are many other standards also available where it is also to do with processes, but 27001 has also, like, the additional part is the information security aspect. So they will check us like what is the process that we have implemented and how we can improve it. That's the specific reason. We started by looking at the process, training the process basically. So we also had few consultants who helped us to go through this journey. So what we did was we first identify each functions in our company. Like, there is an operations side, there is an IT, there is HR, there is sales, and then later marketing also came up. So we divided this first, and then we started picking up each function. We identified a head for each function, and then we started going through like how are day-to-day activities, what all are the day-to-day activities happening within that function. Maybe you can take it at a daily, on a day-wise you can look at what all are the processes. On a month-wise you can look at what all are the processes moving in. From a customer onboarding perspective, like you can look at what all are the things that you do from an operation perspective. Now, once a customer is onboarded, there are certain things you need to make sure, like how their usage is, if there is something going wrong there, if you get a feedback from customer, how would you handle it? So we started picking up each topic and started drawing a plan. So it's like a workflow diagram. So that's what we do with each functions. And so we rigorously went through those process again and again and started fine-tuning it, and then we started documenting it. We did this process for like product, we did it for IT, we did it for HR. So, the fine-tuning primarily happened in, I would say, in process, product development area, operations area. These were the two areas where we had more to do with optimizing things. If you take care of HR and IT and all, it might be more to, from an ISO aspect, things that we will have to do will be kind of similar with other industries also. Other companies used to do it in 3 to 6 months, but we took 8 months. But I think it was worth it because we made sure that we are not merely getting that certificate, but that process is really actually embedded into our blood, and in between that COVID version, that version 2, the second variant also happened. That delayed us a bit, but otherwise, when we went through this, when we started seeing the final stages, at that point itself, when we started going through the final audits itself, I started seeing that fruit, that benefit of doing that process. I started feeling it because, when you go through 8 months, you see different people coming in and different people going out. And by 6 months, we started having document placed for each function, and then So when we started implementing it, we started figuring out, like, whenever some change happens or a new person comes in, it became much easier for us because we just have to take this template and train that person based on it. So it basically made us become people independent when it comes to processes. And whenever some random use cases comes in, we first go to that plan and check how we used to deal it otherwise. If it is a new scenario, we keep adding it to the process plan. So I would suggest, this ISO thing is something which, if you have gone through that process, it kind of gives you a confidence. A certificate from someone like TUV was even fruitful. Like, we never expected that on the first take itself we would qualify for this audit through this audit. We were not literally prepared for TUV, but I mean, the guys who trained us suggested it to TUV. We never knew about TUV at that point of time. After that audit, only we knew like TUV has got a special reputation. So it's it's like adding more sweet to our happiness. We used to be very sensitive about how we handle the data even before also. But the major two improvements that we were able to bring is with respect to handling that data, we were able to bring in a process. Okay, and earlier, it used to be people dependent. Even though that process is there, now we were able to make it kind of people independent. Second thing, from a DevOps infrastructure access, as a part of ISO, we went through a couple of audits specifically for the DevOps part. We were able to run few tests, and we found few gaps or improvements that we could bring in to improve the security. So those two aspects, our DevOps part become more stronger, more process oriented. Also from the giving aspect, we have a very good structured document where we could look at who got what and stuff like that, which were not more into papers earlier, because the startups is where everything is unstructured and still you will be having a control here and there. But with ISO, we were able to make it all structured. So it actually gave me a peace of mind so that I can sleep with not having to worry about such things in the future. It's a 2-year thing. So in another 9 months there will be a surveillance audit that would happen, and then after again a year we would have one more. The audit will keep repeating that main audit. So they will make sure we are through the process, and they will also come and see if we have got any new scenarios that came up, what improvement we made. If you don't document it, basically they would catch us like these are the new business scenarios that came into your business, but you have not captured it or improved it based on that. So it's a process we have to keep improvising and documenting within us.